Hi, everyone. Welcome to my presentation on IT governance. I wanted to spend this presentation giving you a practical application that has been important in my actual life. It has nothing to do with my day job, but the principles that we have encountered in this class have been extremely important to our success. I'd first like to talk about one of my main partners, which is a company called Rapsodo. Rapsodo was founded back in 2010, and their initial product was a sensor which was portable and could be used to generate data about a golfer's club, swing speed, and ball striking data. Um, it was highly successful, and over the period of 2019 to 2021, they grew 454%. Um, During the last rankings, they were just a hair over number 1,000 on the Inc. 5,000 companies. So, how did my firm come about? It all started by chance at a travel high school softball game. One of our pitchers was throwing a gem and caught the interest of a very distinguished looking gentleman. That gentleman identified himself as a VIP for Rap Soto. We began discussing how his golf tracking technology might be applicable to the baseball and softball industries. So, what does my company do and who are we really? We're not a sports company. Rather, it's analogous to Netflix. Netflix isn't a media company, but rather a data collection company. So, really, what we're doing is collecting data and turning it into actionable insights. So, who do we work with? We started out with high schools such as Dripping Springs in Texas, followed up by NCAA teams like the University of Texas at Austin. All 30 MLB teams use our technology. You might have heard of a couple of hitters such as Aaron Judge or maybe the next guy here, Shohei Ohtani. Those are also clients. The sports data analytics industry is poised for significant growth. Over the next 7 years, we expect an almost quintuple in the size of the industry. As you can see from some of the 20 companies listed below, a lot of the focus is on betting. Uh, to set ourselves apart, we'd rather focus on individual and team level athletic accomplishments and how we can use data to improve their performance. I've listed several of our biggest IT governance challenges below. The most important thing is to collect data that is accurate. The second most important thing is to have data integrity and portability. It's not enough to collect the data, it needs to be accessible to both the individual athletes and to their supporting organizations. The most major thing that we're dealing with is KPI development. If you look over to the right, you'll see the user interface for Rapsodo's baseball program. You can see this pitcher is throwing a slider, and there are several different metrics there. All of those metrics are just data points. The important thing that we are developing is how these data points can affect strike counts, how they can affect a batter's home run tally. And so we take all this raw data and convert it into key performance indicators. The four P's of governance apply not just to technology, but to business wide. The four components are purpose, people, process, and performance. I think if you look at several different websites, you'll see different arrangements of the four P's, but always in first place is going to be purpose. So, what is our firm's purpose? Our purpose is to deliver precise, actionable data insights that empower athletes and organizations to achieve a distinct competitive advantage. Because purpose is at our forefront, we know that all of our objectives should promote and reinforce the original purpose. To describe our people component, you'll see our org chart listed below. You'll notice there aren't a lot of branches and there aren't a lot of boxes. That's because our team is currently consisting of about 10 members. Having a small company aids in speed of process development, but also has some significant disadvantages. Equity is a concept that is commonly discussed when reviewing the people component of the four Ps. Equity is not just treating your employees fairly and respectfully, but in this case involves some financial equity. Because we are a startup and would like to rely on internal funds, we have to trade back end positions of equity rather than salary at the forefront to develop our product. What are processes? Processes are systems of activity which allow a business to remain efficient and productive. One of our major process challenges is direct CEO involvement. While most firms would love to have their CEO more involved in day to day operations, in our firm, it's a little too much. Our CEO is definitely a source of information and a fountain of ideas. However, he has difficulty controlling those ideas. Additionally, our highly specialized data analysts and GUI developers prefer to work in solitude, which makes direct CEO involvement difficult and creates some sort of workplace tension. In order to address this, we have dedicated ourselves to refining change management processes such that even the CEO has to submit a change request in order for it to be reviewed. Of course, the CEO has the final discretion, but all employees have input since we are such a small firm. We also have regular SWAT meetings so that everybody can voice their opinions. And if a change is anticipated to be potentially harmful, we do have a few beta users who are willing to try out our newest versions. In general, the costs for developing our product are fixed and they're all initial. We must buy the camera equipment, we must develop the software. As more and more units are sold, the margin per unit continues to grow because those fixed costs are eventually paid off completely and we are operating in all margin. Our key business-wide metrics are sensor units sold and subscriptions sold. From the customer perspective and how we gain more and more customers, it's how does our product affect athletic performance? Are there measurable changes in pitching velocity, in strikes thrown, in runs scored? In conclusion, effective technology governance via the four Ps is essential for long-term success. We think the future is bright. We plan on expanding into other sports, including golf and hockey. Additional growth opportunities include adapting our serious enterprise level technology into fun, inexpensive, and portable packages for somebody who just wants a little more data. I hope you enjoyed the presentation and please reach out if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you.